If you grew up without emotional care, your childhood didn't end, it just went quiet. And without realizing it, your brain learned patterns that still control your relationships today. In the next few minutes, you'll recognize 5 of them, and finally understand where they came from. Here's what's really happening. When love is inconsistent, because of neglect, emotional distance, or affection that depends on behavior, it creates what psychologists call attachment wounds. These wounds don't disappear with time. They influence how you see yourself, how safe relationships feel, and how you move through the world. Let's look at the 5 most common ways this shows up. First, you become hyper-aware in relationships. Early on, your nervous system learned that love could vanish without warning. So as an adult, you're always watching for signs of rejection or withdrawal. You overthink messages. You notice tiny shifts in tone. Even in healthy relationships, part of you is preparing to be left. This isn't irrational. It's a survival response that once helped you cope with emotional unpredictability. Psychology calls this anxious attachment. Your brain is still trying to prevent the loss it couldn't control back then. Second, you struggle to accept love or praise. When someone says something kind, it feels uncomfortable or unreal, and you may brush it off. That's because growing up without love often creates a core belief: I'm not worthy of it. When kindness shows up now, it clashes with that belief. It feels wrong, even threatening. So your mind rejects positive input. You want love deeply, but when it's offered, you can't fully receive it. Sometimes you even push away people who treat you well, because their care disrupts the story you learned about yourself. Third, you become an overachiever or a people pleaser. If love was conditional, you learned that worth had to be earned. Now you chase success, perfection, or constant usefulness, hoping that being good enough will finally make you lovable. But it never satisfies you, because you're trying to earn what should have been freely given. Psychologists call this seeking earned security. It's exhausting, because no amount of external approval can heal an internal wound. Fourth, you may feel emotionally numb. When love wasn't safe or reliable, your brain learned to shut feelings down as protection. Not feeling meant not getting hurt. As an adult, this can look like disconnection. You struggle to access deep emotions. Relationships feel distant or flat. It's not that you don't care, it's that caring once came with pain. This is often called emotional blunting or dissociation. From the outside, you may seem fine. Inside, you feel far away from yourself. And finally, the 5th pattern is a deep fear of being a burden. If your needs were ignored or treated as inconvenient, you learned to make yourself smaller. Now you apologize for existing. You avoid asking for help. You hide when you're struggling. You'd rather carry everything alone than risk being too much for someone else. At some point, you absorb the belief that your needs and feelings are a problem. But here's the truth: having needs doesn't make you a burden. It makes you human. If you see yourself in these patterns, you're not broken. You adapted to survive a childhood that didn't meet your emotional needs. And noticing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. Healing starts with understanding what happened, and realizing it was never your fault. This is Unordinary Psychology. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell.